What's up, everybody? I'm Clay, and I do want to say thank you guys for watching the video. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for understanding that AI now runs YouTube, and it is allowing general discussions about cryptocurrency, NFTs, and other blockchain technology. That's all that this video is. Okay, it's not a promise, promotion, suggestion, recommendation, or guarantee of any kind. It is simply a general discussion about the cryptocurrency world, blockchain technology, and NFTs. Now, specifically in this video here, we're going to be going over Shiba Inu coin. We're going to be talking about what is happening and the latest news that has SHIB trapped in this current range. So let's just jump right into it. It goes on to say that after weeks of intense downward pressure, the market is beginning to show early indications of stabilization, and the current structures point to the possibility of proper market recovery. Even though the overall trend is still bearish, assets like XRP, Bitcoin, and Shiba Inu coin have a chance to gain even better positions before the new trading week. Now, looking at the day so far today, you can see that we are still down. Now, Ethereum here is a very interesting chart. Okay, I'm going to show you Ethereum and I'm going to show you Bitcoin, and we're going to see how it relates to Shiba Inu coin. Ethereum over the years has hit a series of slightly higher highs and, of course, higher lows. Now, the major resistance on Ethereum is around $5,000 per coin. But every time Ethereum comes down in a bear market, it has hit this trend line right here. And that is exactly where Ethereum is right now. Now, I don't know, right, if it's going to be a prolonged period where Ethereum has a hard time recovering, or of course if it's going to be similar to what we saw in 2025 when Ethereum came down, tested at $1,300, and then of course bounced very quickly off. But what I do know is this has acted as a major level of support for the last several years since Ethereum was $80 per coin. So looking at that, we could be, okay, because nobody knows the future is guaranteed, we could be entering an absolute bottom on Ethereum. If we take a look at Bitcoin here, Bitcoin is nearing a major bottom in the 200-week or 50-month moving average. That's traded around $57,000 to $58,000 depending on where you look at it. Now, that would mean that Bitcoin does have a slight chance of going, I don't know, roughly $5,000 to $7,000 lower, another 10% decline essentially from where we're at right now. And 10% decline, it's a lot in a $1 trillion asset, clearly. But a 10% decline after everything that we've struggled through is it's not going to be that hard to swallow. What will be hard to swallow is the amount of fear. Now, fear today is very interesting because we are looking at a 3% decline, 3% decline, Solana, 5% decline. These Bitcoin and these major altcoins, almost a 7% decline in Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin and these major altcoins are down pretty heavy today. But the Fear and Greed Index, surprisingly, is at the same level that it was yesterday, a level of 14. Now, clearly that's still extreme fear. The market is still worrying about what's going on. Tariff concerns, cartel concerns, all of these concerns are causing investors to sit on the sidelines and not want to accumulate. They don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but they fear that it's going to be further declines. So with that, the fear may have bottomed out. We're witnessing a major decline here, but fear remains the same. So if you look at these, you still do have an optimistic light out there when you put all of these indicators together. Now, nobody knows what happens tomorrow. I want to say that over and over and over again because tomorrow could bring major gains. Tomorrow could bring major losses. But if we look at it negatively, we're going to fall victim to the fear. If we look at it positively, we can at least hope to continue using logic. Now, it goes on to say, XRP is moving sideways. Rather than continuing its sharp decline after rising from recent lows, following a severe sell-off, price action is trying to hold its support zone. Very similarly with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is compressed. The price action in Bitcoin is compressed into a narrow range in its crucial technical moment, which may determine the asset's course over the next few weeks. Following a dramatic decline from higher levels, Bitcoin has entered a consolidation phase characterized by a narrowing triangle pattern. Entering near that major support around $57,000 to $58,000. Of course, we did take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum is dropping, but Ethereum is also near that major long-term support. And it's not easy for Shiba Inu coin, but the price action can find between a rising support zone and the 26-day exponential moving average overhead. Shiba Inu coin is presently trading in a tight and uneasy technical position. Bullish and bearish pressure are colliding in a clear compression zone created by this setup, effectively trapping the asset while traders await guidance. Now, I don't know what the guidance is going to be, okay? I don't know if we're going to see a technical breakout to the upside. I don't know if we're going to see fear persist and we're going to see a breakout to the downside. But what I do know is these cycles do not last forever. We have never in the history of mankind watched Bitcoin drop all the way to zero. And I know that sounds funny to say because it's only been around for a decade and a half, right? But never has it gone to zero. Every time the bears come out, every time the fear persists, it always has a sunrise on the other side and hits new all-time highs. So we can either believe that the world is going to continue on, or we can believe that it's the end. Either way, I mean, guys, if it's the end, what does it matter, right? If it's the end of the world, what does it matter if we lose a little money in Bitcoin? But nonetheless, I continue to accumulate in anticipation of those rising gains.